Hello, I'm Larry Meisel, and welcome to Confidence on Camera. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what I've learned over 30 days of my Talk to Camera challenge. Number one, it works. Practice really does work. If you spend 30 days talking to the camera, gradually, kind of imperceptibly, you will notice that you get more comfortable with it, you feel better about doing it, you feel less foolish, and actually, it comes across sounding better. More spontaneous, more genuine, more authentic. And comfort and confidence on camera is what people are looking for. If you've watched a lot of YouTube videos about how to develop your channel, you'll hear a lot about the value and the importance of the quality of your audio. And people will tell you that people will kind of watch some mediocre video quality, but they'll run away from bad audio. Well, that might be true, but I have found through this process that it's the connection with your personality. It's a relationship that you establish with the viewers. That's what people are hanging in there for. That's what increases watch time. That's what people want to connect with. Another thing, my third thing on the list is warm up. You know, you'll also hear people talking about you got to warm up and you got to do some tongue twisters and you got to move around. And I resisted that idea for quite a while. I thought, yeah, that seems really foolish and unnecessary. So I didn't want to look foolish. But you find out that by looking foolish, you get comfortable looking foolish. And it's easy to sit in a quiet room looking into a camera lens and making believe it's a fun, entertaining conversation. Now, there are two kinds of practice I'd recommend. One is improv or impromptu speaking. Learn how to talk fast and talk smart. You can Google things like conversation starters, or there's an organization called Toastmasters. You can Google Toastmasters table topics, and you'll get a long list of conversation starters. Randomly pick one of the items from the list, and then say as much as you can about it in 2 to 5 minutes. You'll learn how to just think off the cuff, talk off the top of your head instead of out your butt, and you'll find the ability to express yourself and be spontaneous, be genuine, be that real personality. That's what people want to connect with. People can tell the difference, for instance, between an awkward pause and a thoughtful pause. I don't know I don't know which that one was, awkward or thoughtful, but people can tell the difference. Another example I came across recently is that they did some sociology research and they found that doctors who apologized for their mistakes were less likely to be sued. But then they did some additional research and they found out that when doctors were apologizing in order to avoid being sued, people could tell and they wound up getting sued anyway. It's genuineness that makes the difference. The next kind of practice is to talk from an outline. Sit down with a word processor and develop a list of bullet points. You can rearrange the order, you're thinking about what you're doing, and you're creating a logical progression of your thoughts so that the impromptu speaking gets you talking quickly, naturally, spontaneously, genuinely. And speaking from bullet points will get you talking in a way that makes sense. Put those two things together and I bet you can develop an audience. I'm sure as heck hoping it works. Another one is when you find yourself making mistakes, don't try to push through. Don't try to just keep talking, because the mistakes and the talking, the dialogue, the good part and the mistakes will get kind of woven together and really difficult to separate out in the editing. So when you find yourself saying, I blew it, okay, take a pause, take a pause, count to 5 or 10, and what's happening is you'll be separating the mistakes and you'll be putting a buffer on either side of the mistake that you'll be able to see in the timeline. There will be a dip in the audio, and that's the beginning and the end, the in point and out point that you want to be able to cut out. That's where the mistake was. It'll speed up your editing. And last point I would make is go ahead and upload your practice to YouTube. Create a channel like I've done. Talk to camera, practicing my YouTube practice channel. Call it whatever you want. But practice talking in front of a camera and going through the process of uploading. I really have, and you will really get to feel like you're actually creating video for YouTube. You'll go through the process of coming up with an attractive title, writing a good summary description, choosing a nice thumbnail. You'll be going through all those other things that go into really creating the identity of I'm a YouTuber. This is what I do. And when you upload them, you'll be able to look at the analytics to see how long were people watching, how many people were watching, and go over and look through and see, what kind of things, what is it about these things that attract more viewers than less on some other things. There's also, if you get at least 10 views on any one video, YouTube will generate a graph for you so that you can, and they overlay it on your video, and you can see where in the video people start clicking away. So you also will hear, if you watch tutorials on how to create your channel, you'll hear that the first 30 seconds are critical. And on the videos that I've posted, boy, you can really see it. From the beginning, there's like about a second or two, and then it just drops off a cliff. And then it kind of levels out. But the first 30 seconds is where you lose most of the people. So you can look at what is it I'm doing during those 30 seconds that I might be able to improve. For instance, one of the things I think I've come up with is it's important to let the first statement be what the video's going to be about. That's when people decide, oh, this is what I'm here for, and I will stick around for this. I found that it's better to leave the description of my channel to the end of the video. If people have stuck around long enough to get near the end of the video, then they're interested enough to hear about my channel. But if I start off by promoting my channel, people think, I think that what people react to is he's just interested in himself. This is not what I'm here for, and they will click away. So, if you've listened to any of my previous Talk to Camera challenges, you know that I set myself a goal of being at least 90% successful at talking to the camera for 30 days. So that's at least 27 videos in 30 days. And I achieved my goal, 28 videos in 30 days. Not perfect, but I achieved my goal. Therefore, I get to give myself the reward that I promised. I would buy a piece of equipment for the channel. And the thing that I have settled on is I found a wireless microphone with really good reviews and a very decent price. It's I'll put a link in the description, but it's like $129 for 2 transmitters and a receiver. And it also, the feature that I was most attracted to, it also comes with connectors so that you can hook the receiver to your phone and use it on a gimbal. Not only can you put it on the hot shoe on your camera, but you can use it in both situations. So it's more versatile, and that was the selling point for me. Now, I really appreciate it if you would give me your reactions to this video, give me your suggestions, and give me your observations about things I can be doing to continue improving my performance. And of course, like, comment, and subscribe. Help this channel to grow. But this channel is an auxiliary to my main channel. And you'll stay with me this long, stay with me for another minute or so I can tell you about my main channel, which is called The Examined Life. And that's a channel for people interested in the civil discussion of ideas, interests, issues, and current events, from the tremendously important to the trivial but interesting. The emphasis is on the civil discussion. I want to do something to counteract the polarization that's happening and I think damaging the social fabric of our country. I think it's gone too far and we need to start turning it back. We need to start getting along with, understanding and caring about people with whom we disagree. The other goal that I have for that channel is that I'm going to donate 90% of the proceeds once I get the channel monetized. I'm going to donate 90% of the proceeds to Doctors Without Borders, Feeding America, and Oxfam, and Amnesty International, the civil rights, human rights organization. And Oxfam is a World Hunger and Poverty Relief organization started in 1940 in Great Britain. So those are the charities after monetization. But if you'd like to help the channel start to do good for those people before monetization, I've also made a Patreon page. I'll put a link in the description, and you can go to my Patreon page and pledge to make a monthly donation, and I will take money from those donations. 90% will go to Doctors Without Borders, Feeding America, and Oxfam, and the other 10% will go to improving the channel. Promotional materials for the channel, perhaps getting into some merch, and buying more equipment to improve the quality of the presentations. Regarding this channel, I'm going to continue the Talk to Camera challenge and modify it a bit. My first goal is to continue the talking to camera, but to do it 3 days a week. The other days, 3 days, total of 6 days, 3 days a week to talk to camera, 3 days a week to practice editing. I'm going to work with some tutorials, follow along the tutorials to learn new skills and new techniques. And I'm going to apply those techniques to also editing my own videos that I want to upload on that main channel, The Examined Life. So if you have been with me this long, then you should be willing to like, comment, and subscribe, and go to visit my other channel and go to my Patreon page. That's all. It's been a little bit rambling and back and forth, not as good as I would like, but room for improvement, and the more I do it, the more I keep enjoying the process. I hope you will too. Thanks. Bye-bye. Y'all come back.